so sad, the tears are in your eyes. Come on and come to me now. Don't be ashamed to cry. Let me see you through, 'cause I've seen the dark side too. When the night falls on you.
When I was pregnant, we found out that Emma had gastroschisis, which meant that her intestines were on the outside. But we found out later, when she was actually born, that that was just the first of a number of things going on with her. Her main diagnosis is Mobius syndrome, which is a neurological disorder that she's missing nerves in her face that allow her to make facial expressions like smiling. She can't smile, she can't frown. She also can't blink.
Nakira was a 10-year-old little girl. She was born with a medical condition called neurofibromatosis. And neurofibromatosis, it causes benign tumors all over the body, inside and outside. Nakira had some speech problems, some like gross and fine motor skill problems, but for the most part she was a normal active child. Nakira was falling over and was having difficulty standing. We took her to the emergency room and they did a CT scan and they found a mass. We were in ICU for a few days. They finally got the MRI and they got the brain biopsy done, and they diagnosed her with a high-grade astrocytoma.
My husband's a carpenter, and he's basically had to increase that tenfold since I had to give up work to take care of Emma full-time, just to try and make up for the loss of income.
When Nakira was diagnosed, the things I struggled most with was juggling work and being at the hospital with her, because I'm a single mom. Everything added up quickly, and I had car insurance to pay and still had my other kids in school. I had to pay daycare.
We have therapy once or twice a week, which is in-home. We have hospital appointments. Feeding is a different experience altogether with Emma because she's fed through a feeding tube that requires equipment like the feeding bag and syringes and processes that we've gotten used to, but that make it very difficult to do them outside of the home. At nights can be tricky as well because she is on an oxygen monitor just to make sure that she's getting enough oxygen in her blood, and she can sometimes set the monitor off at night.
Probably keeping up a good face, knowing that there wasn't really any treatment. The treatment she was getting, the IVs, the radiation, and I still saw her getting worse, and I kept praying and thanking God and asking Him to make her better. And then she just got worse and worse, and I just wanted her to be home and not in the hospital when she hated being there. By November, Nakira couldn't talk anymore. So she would point if she wanted something to eat, if she wanted something to drink. She had difficulty walking. She was able to come home for 2 weeks, but then she, right after diagnosis, but she stayed really until she died in the hospital. It was just hard taking care of her. It was hard watching my baby suffer and knowing I couldn't do anything. You tell your kids all the things not to do. Don't go in the street. You can't eat this, you can't do that. Certain, things to keep them safe. And something like cancer comes along and it's nothing you could do. I read and I searched so hard online. I'd just be at the hospital looking online all hours of the night, just hoping I could find some medical trials, some clinical trials.
When she came home from the hospital, I think the most difficult thing was trying not to panic at everything that happens with her medically or physically, and the most difficult part throughout the whole 9 months since Emma's arrived has really just been trying to enjoy being a mum and to just see her as my daughter and not my daughter with a bunch of medical needs.
When I would come in the hospital room, her whole face would light up. She go, Mom. That's about all she could say. And I just miss hearing that, hearing her say, Mom. I told her youngest sister I even missed them arguing. My youngest daughter, when I told her Nene had passed, she asked me, would God let her go to heaven and play with Nene sometimes?
She loves to clap her hands, and she just seems to have a great time. You know, she just seems to love life. You know, and sometimes it's difficult because you don't really see the expressions, but you know that she feels. She loves her mom. That's for sure.
Fred's footsteps stepped in at a time where I didn't know what to do. I didn't know how I was going to pay bills. I was having trouble with everything. I was hanging on by the skin of my teeth. They paid the rent. They paid my utilities, my phone. They gave me gift cards for food for the grocery store, so that I could buy groceries again. And then when the cure passed, I called and I had told them, you know, and they said, well, we're going to continue to help you. And if you need any help with the funeral arrangements, we'll help pay for those. And they did. They paid for a headstone, so I didn't have to wait a long time to get a headstone. And they've just been there. And it's just when you don't have anybody else there, when you make too much, you're still trying to work, but you're still trying to be there for your child. You still have to pay bills because there's nowhere to go.
Fred's footsteps really helped us with a gift of time. We suddenly had to deal with not only having a new baby with extra needs, but also faced with the challenge of how do we manage with only one salary, which we'd never planned for. And with Fred's footsteps coming in and paying our mortgage for a couple of months, paying our car insurance, gave us the space that we needed to get used to having the baby home and to just figure things out and not worry about losing our house. And then a few months down the line, when one of our cars needed repairing, just a huge cost that we totally weren't prepared for, Fred's footsteps came in again and rescued us.
I've been a hard worker, and when you ask for help and there's nobody to help you, Fred's footsteps was what stepped in and helped me and my family.
The way that Fred's footsteps have helped us just really gave us a start that allowed us to focus on our family rather than our finances.
They helped me and my girls when we didn't have anybody else to really help us. And it was just a time where I didn't know what else to do. And God sent y'all.